Okay, let's do some art. So this is the last prompt of Inktober 2022 and the prompt is farm. Now I've noticed on YouTube everyone seems to be painting pumpkins. Don't know where I missed that memo, so I'm going to put a little pig in a pumpkin today because I mean it's just adorable, isn't it, really? So I did this little sketch. And then I'm going over it with my uni pin fine liner as usual, and then going in with my watercolour. So I'm using this lovely bright orange to start with, and then I add some yellow to give it a little bit of highlight, and then I darken up all those little creases using a slightly orangey brown colour. And this just gives it a lot more depth. It makes those curves in the pumpkin really stand out. Now I use my hairdryer to dry in between so the colours don't run together. So now I'm working on my pig. I'm using this light pink colour which I mixed a red and a white together, and I slightly darkened it just to give a little bit more depth. And then I'm adding these dark bits that will be the inside of the pumpkin. Just to make it look like the pig is sat inside the pumpkin. I'm using a nice browny red colour just to add a little bit more definition, and as you can see it's really making that pumpkin look a lot more 3D the more I add the low lights and highlights to it. I'm now adding a darker pink to the pig just to bring some life into that as well. So I'm darkening up under his chin, on his paws, and then adding the black bits to his pupils. I then darken up those bits inside the pumpkin just to make it really stand out. So I then go in with my bleed proof white and I added some highlights, but I wanted to really blend them into the actual drawing. So I added a little bit of yellow to the pumpkin ones and a bit of pink to the one on the pig, just to blend them into it a little bit more so it weren't such stark highlights. And yeah, there he is. Isn't he gorgeous? I love my little pig in my pumpkin. I did it. I filled a sketchbook and I'm so proud of myself. I did the whole of Inktober for 2022. Should we do a flip through? A flip through? Should we do a flip through? What I wanted to do for this Inktober was use my imagination. I wanted to create loads of characters and practice that. I've always struggled to just find things from my own head and put them on paper. So here is my gargoyle. I was really proud of him. I started him off with a digital piece on my iPad and then did it again using my ink and watercolour. And I think he turned out great. And then we got Scurry, so I thought what better than to do a rat. But of course I wanted to make him a little bit more interesting. He's a bit of a posh rat. And this one you all saw me do on my Monday paint with me. The wing reminded me of a blanket, and I thought I'd put a little sleep mask on him and put him to bed. Next up was Scallop. I also wanted to do a kawaii style drawings, so this was my first kawaii one. So I did a scallop with a little face. I was quite proud of my C as well. I thought that went quite well. Next was Flame. Now I always get scared of drawing faces, so this was a little intimidating, but I think it went really well. Okay, so this is where my blobs happened. I decided to draw this cute little blob with flowers in her hair. I ended up doing quite a lot of blobs in this Inktober because they're adorable. I mean, how cute is she? Next was Trip. So I thought I would take this little bunny on a trip, so she's holding her little suitcase. And I quite like the effect of her fur. I kind of like blotched the watercolour, and yeah, I think it looks quite nice. Next was Match. Now, some people have not noticed that he's got a little tiny face. So this is my little kawaii Match. And I was really pleased with the black background with the little yellow sparks coming off it. I think that really added something. Next was Nest. So I painted these little birds in a nest. This is quite a difficult one, trying to get the proportions of the bird right. I don't know if I've managed that, but I quite like the effect of the nest and the background. Now I absolutely love this one. Again, I did this on my Monday paint with me, which gave me a little bit more time because I spend a few hours doing my paintings. So yeah, I really worked hard on this one, and the speckled white dots I think just transformed it. This is my eagle. Again, I wanted to do an eagle, but I wanted to turn it into a character. So I found some pictures of eagles, found some pictures of people reading books, and I kind of blended it together. And I gave him some glasses. And I really like how I did the oval background. I think that really added something. So this was my little brain. My brain blob. This little brain has forgot something, so I got little question marks coming out. And I was really pleased with how that one went. I think he's really cute. Some more blobs. So this is Kind. He's sharing his umbrella to keep his little blob dry. This one was Empty, so I decided to do a girl, but she's got no face. She's empty. Quite liked how it turned out. I really like the effect at the bottom with the clothes. This is one of my favourites. My armadillo in a watermelon. I think it turned out great. Some more blobs. So this was my fowl, so I decided to do some chickens. So we got mama chicken and baby chicken, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I love that she's got glasses on as well. It's just uber adorable. And I'm really pleased that I left her white and then just did the shadows. I think that worked really well. Next was Salty. This one just reminds me of... Oh, I've gone blank. Why do I always go blank when I'm thinking of names? Nerdy Crafter. I saw the salt bottle and I was like, oh, I so like Nerdy Crafter, and she's always talking about being salty. So yeah, this one's inspired by her. Scrape. So I thought, what better than to have a plaster to go over your little scrape when you've hurt your knee, or shall I call them band-aids? So plaster is a band-aid in the UK, so I'm sorry to confuse you there. So yeah, here are my little band-aids. This one was Ponytail. So this one was a hard one. I really didn't know what to do for it. I mean, how can you turn a ponytail into a character? So I thought I would turn the bow into a little character. And we put the little kawaii bow in our hair. And I was really pleased with the hair. I think it turned out quite well. It's obvious that it's hair, isn't it? I think. Bluff. I thought, wow, you got to do some cards for Bluff. Playing some poker, and I decided to turn them into little kawaii characters. I really love the background again. I think that really added something, because it was just the white cards. I think it would have been a little bit dull and boring. The next week I did while I was in Portugal, so I went on holiday and yeah, sat by the pool painting, and it was glorious. So this is Bad Dog. It's based on my little chihuahua, and yeah, he's been a naughty boy. So he's having his little mugshot taken. We got another blob here. It's Heist. So we've got a little robber blob. It's a little bit wide, but blobs are a little bit wide, aren't they? So again, this is one of my favourite blobs. It's Booger. So I gave him a bit of a snotty nose and a handkerchief. It's quite cute. This one you would have seen on my Monday paint with me. So this is my fairy frog. I think it turned out quite pretty. I really like the bright orange against the green. I think that worked nice. So this one is Tempting. This one turned out so well. I was really worried about how to do this. And I love that I gave him a little muscle on his arm. Ego. He looks in the mirror and he sees himself as a superhero. Next was Snack. This was so hard to do. I found it really, really, really difficult, but I kept on persevering. As you can see, I have layered on that watercolour. It is thick because I was just struggling to get any cuteness, really. I think I've achieved it eventually. Again, I struggled with the nut as well. I found it really hard to make it look like a walnut, so that was a tough one. This is a little simple one. This was camping, so I thought we could have some toasted marshmallows, and I think they're adorable. This is my little cat for uh-oh. Not that they ever feel guilty for tipping over a glass of water, but yeah, it only felt right to have a cat knocking something over, because that's just typical of them, isn't it? Next is Gear. I thought I'd do some steampunk style. Again, I've actually done a little cat. So yeah, here's my little steampunk kawaii cat. And then finally, as you just saw me do, the farm. I thought I would paint a little pig in a pumpkin. So there you go. There is my 31 days of Inktober 2022. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you Friday. Bye! If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate the support. Or head over to the Cassie Projects on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok. You can also head over to my website at thecassieprojects.co.uk to find stickers, art prints and even a free gift. Feel free to binge some more videos by clicking the buttons, or I'll see you next week. Bye!